Hi, everybody. My name is Nosiphiwe. My surname is Makaula. I'm everything, but I would like to focus on being an author these days. And what inspired me to upload these videos is that we are facing a lockdown, and next month is the Women's Month. And in a normal situation, I would have sent a message of support to women during the Women's Month. And I will do that every day when I have time, taking from Womanhood, because it was the book that I used to fight women abuse, to have my voice being heard in fighting women's abuse. But before I do that, as I'm going to introduce myself, I would like to read something in my Facebook journey, which says, "Now, the only problem I have with the haters is that they only see my glory, but they do not know my story." These were the words by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou is one of the respected women who was a poet, who was a phenomenal woman, who has made a mark in this world during her time. So I read from her. I take those words from her because this is also something that has happened to me. So many people, they see my glory, but they don't know my story, which is a story which has not been easy at all. This is my story. Ne? I was born in 1974, the third child in my family. I do not remember much about my childhood except that I vividly remember us being a happy sharing family with my mother. I do not remember my father in my childhood memories. I guess he was away working. I remember my mother telling us stories which did not mean anything that time, but now that I'm older, they make sense. She once told us a story about a tortoise that had a problem. There was drought where it lived, and all the animals had to relocate to another area. He was friends with doves, and the doves could easily fly and leave the area. They made a deal with him and said, "We can come with you, but it is a bit difficult. We will have to take you with a stick." He will have to do this on a stick with his beak or mouth. "We will then use our mouths to hold it." They would hold on both sides. "The deal is if you open your mouth, you will fall." They agreed, and so they moved. On their way, they passed school children who were coming back from school. The children laughed and ridiculed the tortoise for being unable to fly. And due to his pride, he forgot the deal and opened his mouth to answer. He fell and then missed the new destination. It links to the words which say, pride comes before a fall. The tortoise could have made it to its destination if it closed its mouth. But tortoise, because he was proud, he couldn't. He just decided to open his mouth and he missed. This story means that you don't have to answer everything. And if you have the pride of a tortoise, you will fall. In other words, pride comes before a fall. My mother always quoted the Bible during tough times when people fought with us, especially our paternal family, which is famous for abusing us. Even the story of the tortoise, it was the story she told to us because she was encouraging us to keep quiet because God will fight for us. She used to say, "God fights for his people." I hated her for saying those words because I thought she was a coward. I wanted her to be brave and speak back when people come to our house and insult her, calling her bad names, calling her a witch, of which she was not a witch. But they decided to label her and call her a witch. Some of the cultural issues that our families inherit and the things they do to our parents. I remember vividly the name calling by the in-laws also affecting us. They would call us dirty, poor, and smelly children who do not have a future. Our mother also was the number one witch, according to them, a prayerful witch. When I think about it, she had God. And I think they were doing the black magic behind our backs, but could not destroy her, hence calling her a witch. Because she has a big witch that protects her, which is called Jesus. There's a song, I don't know how to interpret it in English, which says, Inyange nkulu ikhona le igama layo linguJesu. A big witch doctor exists. Its name is Jesus. My mother was a religious person who feared and obeyed God. When I teased her about being a witch, she laughed and told me that it is funny how everyone who marries in African culture does not only qualify to be her wife, to be her husband, but also qualifies to be a witch. Her own mother told her never to leave her marriage because of witchcraft, because everybody is a witch to the in-laws. What I particularly liked about this all was that little did they know that witchcraft is an action of whether you think of when is a okay, I'm sorry about that. Witchcraft is an action, and whenever you think bad or say bad things about people, you qualify to be a witch already. Jealousy is witchcraft. Not wanting to see good from other people is witchcraft. They were also not aware that the world saw them as the first-class witches because of the evil deeds they did to us and our mother. That is what happens when you are married to cruel people. It is important for husbands to protect their wives from their in-laws. We have been victims of the name-calling, but thanks to the name-callers, today we are strong and we know that words will never break your bones. They might hurt you, but they never break you. They never break your bones unless you allow it. What puzzled me at the time was that my mother always kept quiet and never answered back. Now that I'm an adult, looking back, there were lessons learned. I have learned the power of her advice because whenever bad things happened to people who had done her wrong, my mother would say, "No, Lord, I didn't mean it this way." She was a survivor and a fighter. She struggled to raise us, and she worked hard. Sometimes people would come and say, "Can we please help you by raising one of your children?" Her answer would be, "No, God gave me these children. I will raise them on my own, no matter how hard it is to raise them." That helped because she taught us wisdom, and we all have the same upbringing, which is important to children. That is why it is not even wise to separate orphans when you place them. I think that's the message that I'm giving to the communities and to the social workers, because we place children in foster care, we place children for adoption. You cannot separate children because those children are related by blood, and one day they will come together. They will be reconciled. It is during the tough times, tough family times, that you cling to those common things you have as a family, especially when the devil attacks the family. So you don't focus on differences. You focus on what is common. What is it that binds us together as the family, and focus on it. Then that gives us hope to resolve any challenge and conflict that we face, because we cannot run away that at some point families face challenges. During tough times when the devil attacks us as families, we find strength from each other. I could not have asked God for another family, because my family is perfect for me. Because God has given us a mother who was trying by all means, who was working hard to bind us together with her upbringing. It doesn't matter how difficult things are. We remember her words. Now she's been gone. In the midst of grief, we remember her words, and her words help us to go on in life challenges. I'm sharing this to empower women as we will be facing Women's Month. I'm challenging you to be strong. You woman who is oppressed using culture, who is oppressed using cultural practices. And I'm talking to you, and I said it has happened in the past. Stand up. Stand up. Be strong. You can overcome the adversities. You can overcome the challenges. You can stand up in the woman. You can change the world. We're not supposed to fight back using words, but we are supposed to use our action. Use prayer as your strength. Be that kind of a woman who, when she is up, the devil who would be scared and say, oh mine, is she up? Because she knows that when you're up, his world will crack. His world will be in shambles. His world will be shaken. May God bless you. Love you all.